Hey Taurus, welcome to Key Wisdom Tarot. Ruth here with your January 2022 reading, your first one of the year. I we will do as we always do with these readings. We will look at sun, moon, and stars. So the sun is. I know what this card is because I've shuffled them, and it keeps falling out, but it wants to be seen, so we shall put it there. The sun looks at the things that you might encounter, your actions and your experiences in January. Moon is what's motivating those actions, what's coming from beneath the surface, your instincts, your intuition. And the stars refers to the outcomes, the potential lessons, etc., that you might be learning over this time period and because of this cycle that you are in. So I've been taken to saying at the beginning of these readings, at least January readings, that we are looking at the nature of your current cycles and experiences. So just as the weather today is related to the weather of tomorrow, and the weather of yesterday is related to the weather of today, this is what we do with this reading. We're looking at the nature of your current experiences, of your current recent experiences. And that indicates the type of situations and circumstances that may arise for you, the things you might encounter in the future going forward, and the lessons that you are learning beyond that of love thyself, of course. Okay, so wait till you see what this one is. Okay, so before I even start, Taurus, I always shuffle, obviously, before and you know, do all that stuff before I turn the camera on. And the word that is quagmire. Now, cards kept falling out. This was one of them. And it's very obvious just already that some of you have been kind of felt maybe a little bit stuck, but clearly the news is good in a sense, because the discomfort that you have felt or have been feeling has taught you something, has shown you something, has given you something that you can grasp hold of and use that to help you to navigate further your future steps. So this is what just a message that we're seeing and feeling already, energetically wise. So the card at the base of the reading, you know, the kind of energy or the theme, if you will, of this of January into February for you is the Eight of Swords. And it's lovely though that beneath the Eight of Swords we have the Ten of Cups as well, but we've got the Eight of Swords. So this sword's about our thoughts, consciousness, logic, reason, our thinking, etc. But this is number 8. It's about cycles. It's about, you know, endlessly, in a sense, maybe even unknowingly and unwittingly, you know, being stuck in a certain way of thinking, or your thinking keeping you stuck, a perspective keeping you stuck, because you don't want to look at it, because you haven't wanted to look at it. And yet this indicates, the Seven of Wands indicates that this is the tool to help you to look at it, to help you to face up to it, up to this way of thinking that you've held, or this, you know, you always think, for example, this might be the card of a pessimist or an optimist, for example, someone who always sees the good things or always sees the bad things and doesn't really question why they are so optimistic and doesn't really see their optimism as an issue or a problem. But actually, what you are recognizing is that attachment of optimism or pessimism or whatever it is, whatever perspective that you hold or that you have held up until this point, whatever it is, something has been happening that's actually making you question whether this optimism or this pessimism or whatever perspective it is truly how you feel, or if it's just a construct in a sense, to keep yourself safe from engaging further or deeper with that way of thinking or with that perspective. You've been going through something, whatever that is, I don't know. I've not read for you for a few months. I've only been doing private readings. However, this just indicates, and especially I can just, already we know this, that whatever you've been going through has been teaching you, has been a way to deal, a way to start to deal, a way to start to address whatever perspective that you've been holding. So let's have a look at the experiences and actions in January. So we've got the 8 of Wands, so we've got another 8 and another 1. So we've got the 8 of Wands, we've got the 9 of Pentacles, we've got the 3 of Wands, and we've got the 4 of Pentacles. So there is, first of all, this is almost, it isn't, but just bear with, this is almost like the Chariot, this first row. It's almost like you're using more than just your thinking, your thoughts, your logic, your reason. You're using more than just your thinking, these cards indicate, in order to affect movement in your life, in order to move in a different direction, or to move differently, to act differently. You're listening to and responding to your instincts, this tool, this new way of experiencing your reality, this new way of experiencing your body. It's like we spend time avoiding ourselves. We spend time learning how not to feel and how not to engage. That's what this can represent. We learn over life, don't feel sad, don't feel bad, don't feel angry, don't feel depressed, don't feel lonely, don't feel this. And if you feel those things, you tell yourself, no, I don't feel angry. Ignore the anger, ignore the sadness, ignore the pessimism, ignore the optimism. That's what this tells us to do. But when I see this energy, the 7 of Wands, it shows learning has been happening. Learning to actually sit with the discomfort. So a door has opened for you almost before today, where you are recognizing that that's a process that you engage in, that, I feel discomfort, but then I'm telling myself I shouldn't feel discomfort. It's like you're learning to hear yourself, you're learning to feel yourself, you're learning to be truthful and honest with yourself about how it feels to live in your body and to live in your mind and to live in your emotional world. You're starting to engage with that. This is what this first row is telling us. And you may come to this reading, you may be coming toward Christmas. I'm filming this just before Christmas. We're coming toward the Christmas period now, and you might be entering that time feeling like, wow, I'm exhausted, I'm tired, or it's been a tough year, or it's been challenging, but what we're seeing is new energy. We're seeing the beginnings of the taking off of these blindfolds, the beginnings of the following the lights, following the worm, following the whatever you want to call it. It's like you're kind of listening more to to actually what it feels like to deny yourself or to ignore yourself. This indicates new energy, an influx of new energy coming in. It's almost like it's more palpable, it's more real. So it's almost like your instincts, your intuition, your passion, your ambition, in a sense, is becoming rooted in reality. You are realizing in the month of January, or that's where you are now in your mind, you're realizing that this is actually real. So if it bothers me that I feel like this, or that I think like this, or thinking like this makes me feel this way, if it bothers me, then it has an effect on me, and I can do something about it. I know that I can do something to affect that change. I know that I can do something to affect feeling differently about where I'm at, about my manifest reality, about my physical body, about my my stature or my abundance in this world, my job, my work, my money. I can allow the comfort or the discomfort of a situation, for example, to guide me toward and away from creating new things in my life and releasing new things in my life. So we have this energy of the Nine of Pentacles here because this is about security, manifest security, feeling secure, but it's through discovery with Pentacles. It's always through what we discover within ourselves, what we discover about ourselves. That's what provides, that's why the King and the Queens are so secure. They're not real people, but I use them as the cards, if you will, because they provide, it's always discovered within us, that abundance, that wealth, that growth. It's what we should be doing, where we should be going, how we should be feeling, what's our truth. It's discovered, and it's discovering the truth within ourselves that provides us that security. So we've got this energy of the Nine of Pentacles. So again, it's linked to the Hermit energy. That's linked to going within. That's linked to that diligence, that focus on one's self, on one's own, and clearly you're trying to, we see energy shifting and changing with the Eight of Wands and with the Three of Wands as well. We see this energy of, this is obviously a card of new horizons, things, in a sense, in the mind, if you will, coming. How do I make it real? How do I make this dream of mine real, or this desire of mine real? Or how do I make what I feel inside, how do I express that in my behavior or in my actions, in my words? How do I express that to make it so I can actually really make an effect change in my life? How can I respond to what I'm thinking and what I'm feeling in a way that actually brings in the new things that I want in my life? And this is what this energy seems to be like in the month of January. And January is never the time to start anything new. It's always the time to understand the kind of the learning of the last sort of 8-9 months, and then think about what it is we're trying to hold on to and what it is we need to release and let go of. And your lessons are starting, in a sense, early, because you come into January you come into 2022 with a new understanding of how it is to be you, how it is to feel, what it is you actually want and who it is you actually are. You're seeing with the Four of Pentacles the things that you've formed and made in your life that apparently provide you with that security. So one of the things that provide you with security, one of the things that provides us with security, is this type of thinking. This is just what I believe. This is just what I think, and I'm not going to defer from that, because I don't want to investigate further, because it gets complicated. So this is why so I'm going to sit here, I'm going to stay here, I'm going to stand here. But actually, there's an understanding now coming into this January, coming into 2022, that there is a way that you can be more or intimate with yourself, knowledgeable about yourself, more engaged with and aware of your experiences. So this is like your kind of manifest structure, if you will, structure and security, the things that help you feel secure, the things that help you feel rooted. This is what, in a sense, this represents. And, in a sense, there's a kind of a consideration in the month of January, a consideration of what actually does make you feel secure, does me thinking that everything's going to work out brilliantly no matter what, ever, all the time, does that, if I never take that thinking any further and just, then I feel good. But if I go deeper into that thought, into that perspective that I hold, is it actually a true, am I actually being truthful and honest with myself? This is your year of self-discovery, Taurus. 100%. This is what this I can see already. Let's look at what's motivating this. But it's like a self-discovery, and it's like you're going to go there this year. You're going to go there. You're going to look at yourself. You're going to look at your emotions. You're going to examine what is in that cup. You're going to examine it all. And this is what you've not done. And this is what you know you've not. The thing is, this card means we don't know we haven't done it. But we, in a sense, energetically, we do. And energetically, you will. And that is going to affect how you behave. And this is why we have this kind of friction. It's a theme so far in the January 2022. Excellent. The theme so far that we're kind of all still in this state of flux, of understanding our lessons, manifesting the lessons that we've learned since the pandemic, right? So we're manifesting the lessons that we're learning. And that means that we, in a sense, we start to think differently. We start to act differently. We start to feel differently. We start to do different things, invite different things into our life, because we recognize that we're not maybe as kind of as weak and as feeble as we have told ourselves for so many years, for example, or whatever it is you told yourself. Okay, so we have the Queen of Cups, the Five of Wands, the Six of Wands, the King of Wands. So you can see how much wand energy is in there, and this is again. It's this the feelings. The kind of the cups represent emotions, and emotions are really our kind of our interpretation, if you will, how we as individuals in our own psyche, our emotions are how we interpret this energy of being. Key energy, this is what this wand energy is, what it is, key, like the Nevin channel. Key energy, wand energy, fire energy is fundamentally the energy of being, the energy of living, of transformation. So for example, I always say you can look outside and you can see that and you cannot see that the grass is growing, but it grows. And you can look at a leaf on a tree and you cannot see that leaf is growing and decaying and then dying and then transforming, but it is happening. And that pace of change, if you will, that pace of, I call it becoming, is wand energy, is chi, is ki, is all that stuff that we talk of in Reiki and all that stuff. That's what is represented here. And so this is what when we see wand energy, that we're experiencing the true pace of our existence, the true pace of life, the true pace of the true vibration, if you will, of the universe. That's what we're experiencing. And that is about your paying attention when we see these energies, but it's also about your physical experience of them, your physical embodiment of them, it talking to you, it speaking to you, and it actually telling you, this feels comfortable or uncomfortable, or this, I want to, and that brings about awareness, and that awareness brings about friction, and then that friction brings about ultimately change and transformation. You're being asked in the month of January to look upon the experience, how you experience yourself, how you experience your rate of becoming. How does that feel to you? And you're not looking away from it with the Queen of Cups. This is you contemplating and being asked to contemplate and this is you asking yourself. This is you asking yourself, let me engage in this process. Let me contemplate. Let me feel. I want to feel. I want to understand. I want to experience myself. I want to be honest with myself. I want to know myself. And we go through this kind of friction of looking at ourselves in the mirror, and in a very real way and in an intimate way, where we're reflective, where we're listening to our thoughts, where we're engaging with our feelings. And actually, this is what it's driving you toward. Yes, looking at your emotions and reflecting on your feelings brings about this kind of conflict, this friction, in a sense, that brings about the change. But look what comes. We have the victory. We have the kind of the joy, in a sense. The good news of what you've discovered about yourself, of the strength of yourself, of the full nature of yourself. You discover when you engage, when you reflect, when you're meditative, when you contemplate. And it provides you with this to hold on to, the thing of, I can do it. I can look at myself. I can feel myself. I can know myself. I can engage in what I can engage in the pain, in the suffering that I feel, or in the suffering that I interpret that I'm going through. I can engage in it because I know that that is my guide. That whether it's comfortable or uncomfortable, that what I feel is my guide. And that's what you become. And it's helping. You're asking yourself to listen to yourself this month. You're asking yourself to engage with yourself this month, because in a sense, what you've learned up until this point is that you recognize that it's really only by doing that you actually can feel stronger and more confident and very much in your element. The Hierophant Taurus, that's you. And, you know, that's the joy of all these wands: Page of Wands, Three of Cups, and King of Pentacles. So we've got this solidity, we've got this, we've got this kind of security. And I hope you're feeling this as a kind of, I feel like some of you are letting out a huge sigh of relief right now, because I think it has been, well, I know it has, because I can feel it. I'm not a Taurus, but I know. It's been it's been hard work. This is what's hard work: the looking at yourself, the focusing on yourself, the reflecting, being reflective, being mindful. That's what's hard. It's hard to be mindful. I mean, it's easy. You know, we can all do it, and we all do it every single day. But it's very difficult. It's intense. But the intensity brings about this security. And look, this. You still got this in your hand. You're still holding it. This staff in your hand. You're going forth, and you're letting how you feel, the comfort or the discomfort, be your guide to move you toward where you want to be. You know, the Hierophant, your card, Taurus, and number 5 here again. It speaks of, you know, traditions, and it speaks of, you know, how things are, an institution, and how things should be. But it also speaks of the opposite of that as well, which is the you. And you can choose to walk either path. You can choose to go down the path of the pious attendant, where we listen and we're taught, and we take on the beliefs of old, and we live with those as if they are our truths. Or you can live your truth. They're two different things. And that's the path that the Hierophant walks. That's the path that a Taurus walks in your life. And that's really the path that you're in at the moment, you know. And especially when you get into February here, you're seen to make that choice, you know. And I feel as though, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what you're going to choose and what you're going to do, but I feel as though you're in the energy of change and of wanting to make that change, and of actually, as I said, you can live by the rules that are dictated to us, and we can absorb them as our own, or we can live our own truth. And it seems as though you're going to be living your own truth with the Page of Wands here, again, holding on to that staff, moving forward. We've got the celebration of the yes, this is the universe celebrating you, saying, yes, queen, you did it, girl, you did it, boy, you did it, yes, yes, yes. You're celebrating because you're hearing all aspects of yourself. And it's provides you with this feeling, this sense of security, because again, it's been discovered. The strength comes from within. The security comes from within. So if you avoid 80% of what is within, then you will always feel weak. That's kind of the lesson that you learn. I can avoid it. Look, I've avoided it all these years. I'm 25, I'm 35, I'm 45, I'm 55 years old. And all these years, I've just avoided looking at it. I've just avoided looking at it all these years. Do you feel stronger? Do you? Do you feel stronger for avoiding the pain? Do you? We all know the answer to that question. I don't need to know your life to know the answer is a big resounding fat no, you don't feel stronger. This is the lesson. This is what you're learning. You've learned actually the strength comes from actually looking at what is there. Understanding understanding the impact it has on me. Understanding how it affects my thinking. Understanding how it affects my actions. Understanding how it affects my what I say and what I do. Wow, I feel stronger. That's the lesson for you in January. And I'm excited for you guys. I really am. Okay. You got a little bit of a preach, but you know what? That comes out sometimes, darlings. Okay, my lovely Tauruses. I hope you enjoyed that reading. I hope you have a wonderful festive season. Keep an eye out on Key Wisdom Tarot over January. I'm going to be posting a few little snippets from my brand new brand, Mindfulness brand, Tantric Mindfulness, Modern Tantras. It's called Key Minds. So just keep an eye out for that. You'll have little... Oh, I'm so excited. I've been working on this now for like 2 years. It's ridiculous, but it's there. So yeah, just keep an eye out for it, for notifications, etc. Have a wonderful festive season, Taurus. Take care, and I'll see you back in January for your brand new readings. Take care, my darlings. Bye.